Hey everybody, good evening. Today is Sunday, February 4th, 2023, and this is Ben Capozzi with Broad Shoulders Farm in beautiful Halifax County, Virginia, USDA Grow Zone 7B. I think that's everything for my intro. Gonna take a look at the new coop, the rebuilt coop for the blind roosters in this short video. I'm hanging out in the rooster run right now with my boys. Hi, Kevin. And this took me a lot longer than I wanted. Everything took me a lot longer than I wanted, and I'll talk about that in a different video. But for now, let's just take a look. I'll flip the camera around, and you can see what's going on. Kevin, I want to go on a tour, buddy, okay? You did a great job supervising everything. You can follow along if you need to. Okay, so this is the rebuilt coop for the blind lads. You may remember that their previous coop was one of the hoop house structures. I kept the exact same footprint as was here. Maybe I can drop in a photo of what it used to be. But I took the exact same footprint, the exact same frame, scooched it all the way over and pushed it over to the front of the fence here. So we'll go inside and you can see. I've still got some work to do up top here. I'm going to use some corrugated panels. I have a junk one over there that I'm going to cut up, and I can use it. I can cut the pieces staggered to close that off. But there's a decent overhang here. I put up some solar lights. That's more for me than anybody else. They've got airflow here on the back, and in the colder days, this is the north side, so south is directly that way. So they've got nice airflow here, excuse me, on the back. Their roofs are also low enough though that they are sheltered from the northwest wind, which we usually get here. I've still got to close up this panel right here. I'll talk about that more in a minute. And I kept the exact same door. I actually kept the door attached to the bottom frame the whole time I was rebuilding this thing. So let's go inside. So these lads have a dirt floor covered over with just a bale of pine flakes from Tractor Supply. Hey buddy, Mr. Squints. Looks like he might have got a little frostbite. It's been like that for a week or so, but we haven't had any really cold nights for a while. But anyhow, okay, so Lloyd is in here. Lloyd's totally blind. Colonel's in here. Colonel is not blind. He just keeps getting beat up. This dude is a new addition. He's just such a beta. I moved him in here to allow him to recuperate a little bit. And he's not going to be bothered with a contest for superiority because most of these dudes are blind. Ham is blind. Slipnir is blind. And Mr. Squints up there is at least partially blind. But and this guy never gave me his name, but he's not blind at all. He's just always been kind of sickly, and he used to get beat up a lot. So thanks, buddy. So the new house has a taller roost for the lads who can see and would like to be up high. It has a very low level bar, roosting bar, for the lads who are completely blind. Tons and tons of air circulation. When the day that I took their house apart, I moved them all into our family greenhouse, which I thought was going to be just for a night or two. They wound up staying in there for 2 or 3 weeks. But being in there, I got to observe their behavior, and I noticed that they absolutely loved the warmth of the sun, and they loved basically all the dirt. I just put down fresh compost in the beds in our family greenhouse, and they love taking dust baths. And in here previously, they did not have accommodations for dust baths. So I built a little box here that I'm going to fill with some dirt. I'll probably just buy a bag of just cheap garden soil and throw it in there. Excuse me, put that there. The big feature You know, for Sunlight previously, their whole house was a hoop house. So it was just, you know, an arched cattle panel covered with greenhouse plastic. I didn't have good greenhouse plastic. I didn't have true greenhouse plastic. I had just the stuff you get from the big box store that lasts about a season. This didn't even last a season. It started to disintegrate. But the boys constantly had a nice, they had the warmth of the sun. So I wanted to work on repeating that. So now they have huge southern exposure. Their house is physically nailed, or poultry staples attach the exterior perimeter fence of the rooster run to the front of their house. So they have tons of southern exposure. And then I put up, you can see down here, there's the 1/2-inch welded wire, not welded wire, the 1/2-inch hardware cloth, or rat wire, I've heard it called, that covers the whole thing as well. There's a little gap up there, but I'm never going to have a lad up there. That is critical because I do feel pretty confident that the 2x4 wire fencing will keep a larger predator out, because it has worked here for the many years that the rooster run has been up here. But if one of the boys takes a little nap here in the shade, in the full sun during the day, or just winds up sleeping there at night off the roost, it would be very easy for a raccoon to reach through the 2x4 welded wire fencing and just mutilate him by trying to pull him through. So that's up. I've got it stapled right now, but I'm going to come back and I'll batten it down so that it's really super duper reliable, and I know it's going to stay there. I may even put a foot or so of rat wire down here at this level and then cover it back over with the shavings in case something tries to dig under. But, you know, again, in all the years we've had this, I've never had a predator try and dig under there. Hey, Kevin, you're doing a great job, buddy. Excellent flock manager. Kevin's so sweet. But yeah, I'll close up the top on both sides. You know, this isn't airtight, obviously. I mean, there's a gap there. But it doesn't have to be 100% predator proof, okay? Like, I'm sure that snakes are going to crawl in here. That's not going to hurt the lads. We haven't had a ferret problem or a weasel problem here in years. And of course, there are all the other lads outside of here in the rest of the rooster run. The rooster run is like 3,500 or 4,000 square feet. So there are a lot of other boys in here with the lads, but this is the special room where the blind guys can feel safe and not get picked on by the others, because they just cannot be released into general population. They can't find food, they can't find water, they're constantly picked on, and they don't know their way around. You know, they can't help being in somebody's face or being unable to read cues about somebody's territory because they can't see. So this is their safe space, and this spot up here is usually where Mr. Squinty, I don't know, I'm just calling him that today. I don't know why. I mean, he is constantly kind of squinting. I'm sure he has a better name than that. But anyhow, he kind of comes and goes through there. And he is able to get out and get back in. And that is a feature that I want to accommodate moving forward. And I've got the basis here for setting up a little platform. And I may put a little door in here, like a nighttime door, maybe even one of those automated doors, I'm not sure, so that the lads who can come and go in here are able to come and go in here. Like Colonel. Colonel can easily do that. He can come and go. Of course, once you're outside, there's the risk of getting beaten up, which is not good. But towards that end, I am thinking about, excuse me, Kevin. Thanks, buddy. Once I get all this cleaned up, and I had to completely take down an unused house there that needed to be redone anyhow in order to take all the roofing off to do the roof up here. But so yeah, I need to get this all cleaned up. But I'm seriously thinking about taking the 4-foot fencing, the welded wire fencing, and running it from the corner of here over to the gate by which I come in here anyhow, and then putting a little gate somewhere in here so that I could open the door on days when I can be around and really watch things, and the blind boys could come out and just be on grass. I can plant clover and some other things in here. I've got this fenced off so that I can get some kale and other snacking things for all the roosters. I got one of these perimeter fences, which I talk about in a lot of excuse me, my videos on these productive perimeter fences. so that anyhow I could fence them off again from the main flock, so that yes, they have their nice safe coop, but it's not inconceivable that they could also come out and I could put an apple tree here and some other things. So it's something I'm thinking about. This section here, this eastern section of the rooster run, which rooster run goes all the way back to that corner, all the way to that corner, all the way up here. It's like 100 by 40, I think, or 85 by 45, something like that. Like I said, it's about 4,000 square feet, but I separated this in the middle anyhow last year, so that this whole section here is where I'm thinking about moving drakes to. I have way too many drakes that I did not want or originally purchased, but they're just making the ducks unhappy. The poor ducks have been unhappy for a while. I just want to get the drakes set up over here. So I feel that the drakes and the blind roosters would probably be okay. I built that house in a previous video. I'm pretty sure I shared at least photos or videos of that. That was built a couple months ago and finished. The lads have been staying in there. Most of the lads are still staying here or roosting in the trees. I need to build a new, excuse me, decompression. Thanks, Kevin. Decompression chamber for when new lads are introduced to the flock, because I do have about 6 roosters elsewhere on the farm that I would like to move here and have them living with these guys. Also, there's just a ton of stuff to clean up here. I would love to get this organized and clean and take down this mulberry tree and a bunch of other stuff. So there's no shortage of work to be done here inside the rooster run. But for now, this little part of it, the house for the blind roosters, is done. I would like to eventually put a... Kevin, buddy, give me a break. I would like to eventually put a gutter here along the back, and one of those big black 110-gallon tubs that I have in a couple other places around the farm, just to harvest rainwater should I need it, or to store winter water for the lads. It's so much water that even when it gets as cold as it gets here, there's still maybe an inch or two of ice, and then there's enough liquid water that if the pumps don't work or the lines are frozen, I can still use it. So that's a project to come. Cleaning all this up, further taking that down, is another project to come. And speaking of plantings for the lads, again, this is something I noticed when they were in the family greenhouse. When I put them in there, I hadn't quite finished cleaning up a bunch of dead herb plants. So I had like a bunch of thyme and some onions and some other things in there, and it smelled so nice. And I thought that there's no reason, Kevin, buddy, I thought there's no reason that these lads can't have something like that. So I'm gonna get, I have plenty of big pots elsewhere on the farm, and I'm thinking about putting a potted rosemary, a tall pot, and putting a rosemary in here, because it'll get plenty of natural sunlight. Putting mint in another tall pot, some thyme, some oregano, just to work on air purification. Not that airflow is a bad problem in here, just to improve their quality of life. And also I was thinking that maybe permanently positioning like the feed bowls near the rosemary or the water bowl near the mint, so that they can maybe start to associate certain scents with where certain resources are for them. So I think that might be something nice to explore moving forward for the lads. And of course, in the winter when it's really cold, I can put a nice greenhouse plastic sheet, roll it down, cover all this to get the wind off of them. And same thing back here, not to get the wind off of them, but just to contain more heat inside the structure. I can put plastic over the door, and they can have a really nice little hot box in here. So that is a tour of the new house for the blind roosters. I have a couple other guys who are not blind, but I'm giving serious thought to moving them over here, like Cross, the cross-beaked roo, and Port, who looks like a Portuguese roll. I think it's time for them to have a home upgrade, and I think this could be a good fit for them. So I'll talk more about this in another video. Wherever you are, whatever you are up to, I hope that you are happy, healthy, and well, and the same can be said for those you care for. Questions, comments, helpful critique are always welcome, and you can follow the farm at Broad Shoulders on Facebook and Instagram. Hey, Lloyd. You're a good boy. All right, I'll talk to you folks later. Have a great night. Bye-bye.